Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project Magnetic Reversal News. Shinrin Yoku and Yurt Life bringing you a grand solar minimum update Saturday, January 13th, 7:45 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. Evacuations have been ordered for Grindavik within the next 3 weeks. This is due to the ongoing uplift and emplacement of magma in the region. At the same time, across the pond here in the U.S., Governor Hochul announces a travel ban in Buffalo region during its storm briefing, and that begins now. Keep calm. It's cold outside. Dangerous cold snap blankets Iowa ahead of the caucuses. Monday morning, the low is going to be minus 21, and the high could just be minus 1. Holy macaroni. Brutally cold temperatures impacting much of the U.S. right now. Dangerous cold and wind, freezing rain, and heavy snow are predicted for much of the U.S. this weekend and into next week. Near record lows are expected in the Midwest, sub-zero temperatures in the Deep South, and wind chills of up to minus 65 degrees in Montana and the Western Dakotas. And we're talking pipe-bursting cold. Snow and ice threat will reach into the south. It is the coldest weather since late in 2022, and it's on the way to the southern plains and the southeast in the coming days. It will be accompanied by the season's first snow, perhaps. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. Or glacier, wherever you're at. Here are the unofficial record-breaking cold temperatures across the U.S. in the last 24 hours. There have been hundreds. And if you see a blue dot with a circle around it, that is a daily record low. And there were quite a few in just the last 24 hours. There were going to be hundreds more as the system moves its way east. And Governor Hochul announces a travel ban in Buffalo. Because of the winter storm, Hochul announced that the Bills-Steelers game on Sunday will be postponed till Monday so no one gets frostbite. And a travel ban will be in effect for Erie County beginning Saturday at 9. That's right now. And let's take a look at some of the conditions where travel is now banned.
Up and the snow is coming down hard here in Orchard Park, New York. Conditions are expected to get so bad, officials say it would be too dangerous for fans and players to get to the stadium on Sunday.
Then in the interest of keeping both Buffalo Bills and Pittsburgh fans safe, we need to postpone tomorrow's playoff game until 4:30 p.m. Monday afternoon.
Number one goal is safety for the fans, the players, the team, our staff.
Porta potties are being blown around in the wind. Buffalo fans, no snow and cold. But officials say this weekend's wind and lake effect snow will make roads too dangerous. A travel ban is going into effect during the worst of the storm.
At 3 inches an hour.
I couldn't agree more. I think this is the right call. What say you? Leave a comment below. Here, we're going to take a quick jump over to the GFS model and take a look at what this cold is going to do over the next few days. So let's move it through till now. And here we are tonight with that cold air pushing all the way down to Kansas. -4, -10 by the morning, maybe even -15 in Kansas by the morning. Look at that plume pushing through. We're talking lows of -30 for Montana. And that is the actual temperature. So with wind chills, that could be -50. And they were saying -65. We'll move it through Monday into the caucuses. You could see they're going to wake up with -23 potentially in Iowa. And the warm for the day could only be -1 or maybe 1 degree. That is as warm as it will get for the Iowa caucuses. So this dangerous cold is going to be staying with us and moving east towards the end of January. And then the East Coast is going to get pummeled with it at the final week of the month there. I'm talking areas like Philly and New York could see temperatures at or around 0 or in the minuses. So it's going to be very cold in New England in just a week from now. Let's take a look at some of the snow. Let's take a look at the current MLS and show you there's a heavy storm moving into Oregon right now. It's going to be bringing significant snow to the high elevations and a departing storm in the northeast. This storm is going to develop tonight and into tomorrow, bring us a little bit of snow in the Four Corners region as it redevelops here over the center of the U.S. on Monday and into Tuesday. Now, this is going to be dipping down into the south, causing some nightmares here by Tuesday, January 16th with freezing rain on the back end of it, and it is going to bring the first snow to New York and Philadelphia potentially, albeit just a little bit of snow, not like the earlier models were showing. It could be 1 to 3 inches maybe for Philadelphia and the suburbs. Nothing significant, but another system behind it will bring a little more snow and a little bit of the global warming goodness across the entire U.S. Heaviest totals are coming out in the west here, where there'll be over 4 feet of snow in just the next 7 days in the Cascades alone. Heavy snow across the Rockies into the Great Lakes. Potential winter storm in the Mid-South. Heavy snow and strong winds are expected across portions of the Great Basin and into the Central Rockies through Sunday. Take a look at the wind chill warnings in this bluish gray for almost half of the country. It is going to be frigid. Frost and freeze warnings in the South. Bring in your sensitive plants because they're going to freeze solid. Meanwhile, heavy lake effect snow will persist downwind of the Great Lakes into Monday, which will be their fun day as a result of very cold air. And by late Sunday, areas across the mid and deep south could see wintry precipitation developing, making travel difficult across these areas through early next week. It is, in fact, so cold outside that all of the temperature stations, for the first time, I think, ever in British Columbia, have dropped below zero. And now bad news coming out from Colombia. A mudslide there has killed at least 34 people and injured dozens of others. Bad news there. And it's a developing story coming out from Colombia, so we'll have more info tomorrow. Seismic update. No quakes of note. We had some interesting frac quake activity in Oklahoma with a 4.1 in Edmond and some aftershocks from that deep well injection activity. Seismicity continues to increase in Hawaii, and overall, a moderate uptick in mid-level earthquakes worldwide. Taking a look at the Reykjanes Peninsula for that imminent eruption, there are still seismic packages coming in and out from the region and periods of quiet. But that means more magma is still moving into the area, keeping the risk of a volcanic eruption very high. And the likelihood of the eruption at Sundenkusigagar crater remains high. It's so high that the authorities have ordered an evacuation order. And this is for Grindavik, and it's going to be happening in the next 3 weeks. Following the ongoing elevated seismic unrest and ground uplift, authorities ordered an evacuation for the town of Grindavik and will be evacuated on the 15th of January at 1900 local time. The town once again will be evacuated within the upcoming 3 weeks, and no unauthorized persons will be allowed to enter the town. How they think that this is a good timing is anyone's guess, but if the volcano should erupt before this date, which is in 2 days, it would be a disaster. So the faster, the better. And that's good news there. Liwatobi Laki continuing to make spectacular photography here. Glowing steam from emissions of lava on the southern slope of the volcano was observed in the last 24 hours. As lava flow and eruption continue on the mountain. Space Weather News Update. Tamitha Skov just put out an update saying the sun has gotten quite active over the last 24 hours. I'm pretty sure she has no idea what she's looking at. Take a look here. The solar flare detection and the X-ray flux has been extremely low for over 24 hours. So I have no idea what she's talking about. There happens to be quite a few sunspots on the disk, but they're doing nothing. And so even the most well-renowned plasma physicists have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to the sun. Isn't this fun? Take a look at this. Do you want your cell phone's battery to last forever? Well, it could be a thing of the future. Chinese developed a nuclear battery technology that has a 50-year lifespan. I don't know if you want to keep that in your pocket next to your special things. Now, do you? But the Betavolt BV100 is built with a nickel-63 isotope and a diamond semiconductor material and is actually shielded, so there is no radioactive emanations from the battery until you break it. So that might not go very good for the company after it gets sued from the first person that gets cancer here. But The design uses China's first diamond semiconductor material, and the battery technology is becoming epic. This is going to be great news in a grid down scenario. Hopefully, we can get some of these batteries made before the grid gets fried. Now, a lot of you have been told that planetary alignments result in stuff, but the persistent myth about planetary alignments couldn't be further from the truth. There have been so many in recorded history, and each and every one of them has resulted in nothing but hysteria. Can you believe that? I can, because it's in our historical records. This is an amazing article written by Time, which is a rarity. So I implore you to all go get this and read it. It came out in March of last year. And we're also going to be sharing with you the horrors of vaccination, exposed and illustrated. This book was released 100 years ago in 1920. And it is a call to action, a petition to the president to abolish compulsory vaccination in the Army and the Navy because of extreme amounts of side effects and death. Sound familiar? I know it does. And if you want to continue your scientific inquiry and the journey into learning, join us in just a few minutes over at Magnetic Reversal News, where we will be talking, Lee and I, about lost cities of the Amazon in plain sight. And we'll also do a deep dive in the persistent myth about planetary alignments. Do they affect Earth? Do they create volcanoes and earthquakes and catastrophes? No, there is in fact zero evidence that any planetary alignment has ever done anything. How do you like them apples? And that's a boom to knowledge. We'll see you in a minute over at Magnetic Reversal News. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. We love you. Be safe. And we'll see you in a minute. Over here. That's a boom.